From the mud to the rise, yeah, we built it on the grind. Trench talk, real talk, leave the fake ones behind. We don't fold, we don't break, every move we define. It's the code from the trenches where the real ones align.
Man, y'all already know how we get down. When I drop that heat, I don't leave nothing out. Last time, we cracked open the saga of them Black P Stone and the Rollin 20s bloods locking horns with them Rollin 30s, Rollin 40s, and them wild boys from 18th Street. But let's keep it real. I couldn't even fit all that madness into one video. Too much action, too many bodies, too many wild shootouts for just 30 minutes. So here we are, back for round 2, and trust me, this chapter, it's even uglier. Now in part 1, we touched on how this beef been marinating since the 70s, but when 2006 hit, man, it went from street beef to full-blown war zone. It was like somebody cranked the dial up to no mercy and tossed the key. LA wasn't just dangerous, it was a straight-up hunting ground. Blocks that used to be hot became straight-up no-go zones. You step wrong, you might not step again. Ain't no peace talks, ain't no truces, just full court pressure from both sides. Cats was getting hit left and right, broad daylight, nighttime, didn't matter. The back streets, a death trap. Them alleys, a one-way ticket. And let me tell you, ain't nobody safe when war like this pop off. Strays don't got names and revenge don't got no expiration date. These dudes weren't just shooting, they were sending messages. Catch one of yours? Best believe they ain't just dropping them, they making sure the whole city feel it. And once them wheels start turning, it ain't no stopping them. If you think it was bad before, you ain't ready for what I gotta tell you next. Strap in, cause this war is far from over. Y'all know I don't sugarcoat nothing, so let's get straight to it. Last time, we was deep in the trenches, talking about how them Black P's and them rolling sets was tearing the city up like it was a damn battlefield. But now, we fast forward into a night that turned USC's campus into Call of Duty, Halloween 2012, when a so-called college party turned into a war zone. It was all good just a few hours ago. Costumes, music, and a whole lot of people trying to turn up. But when you got certain names in the mix, ain't no such thing as a peaceful function. Around 11:30, right when folks should have been getting their last drinks in, an argument sparked at the back of the line. And you know how that go. Ain't nobody just arguing for fun. Moments later, the night got lit up with gunfire. Bodies dropping, folks scattering like roaches when the lights come on, and the whole campus in straight chaos. When the smoke cleared, 4 bodies had been hit: Devontae Smith, Thomas Ritchie, M. Downs, and Gino Hall. But everybody lived, so you already know what that mean. Somebody was finna take the fall. Enter Brandon Spencer, a 19-year-old who just so happened to be a well-known Black P. The man wasn't even caught with a gun in his hand, but LAPD spotted him a half-mile away, shirt off, walking like he just left the gym. They ran down on him, snatched his phone, and boom, like a bad episode of CSI, they start piecing together a case off old pics, gun range videos, and some hood flicks of him riding around asking dudes where they from. Just like that, they decided he was the shooter, even though they ain't got no real evidence to back it up. No fingerprints, no DNA, just some security guard claiming they saw him do it, and a so-called rival putting his name on paperwork. Allegedly. Now, the street's been talking. Some say Gino dry snitched, some say the transcript was fake, but either way, the DA was treating this like they just caught the biggest menace in LA history. They dug up old tweets where Brandon was talking reckless, throwing shots at Gino online, even claiming he was gonna spin the block. But let's be real, y'all know Twitter fingers don't always mean trigger fingers, and half these dudes be capping for the net. Still, the prosecution made sure to paint him as some supervillain, showing off tattoos, talking about how he was an active soldier in the set, and claiming he ditched his shirt to change his identity. Brandon tried to tell him he wasn't on that type of time no more. He got shot a year before, changed his life, got a security job, and even enrolled in an EMT program because he wanted to save lives instead of taking them. But the jury ain't trying to hear none of that. They took one look at his past and slammed the gavel. 40 years to life. 21 years old, life basically over before it even started. And the craziest part, a lot of folks think he got railroaded, that USC and the LAPD needed a scapegoat to make a statement. Cause let's be real, USC sitting right in the middle of gangland, and they've been trying to clean up their image for years. So when some bullets start flying on campus, they needed somebody to fry. Brandon just happened to fit the bill. Now he's sitting in a cell, begging for mercy, while the streets still debate whether he really did it or if he just got caught up in the politics. Moral of the story? The game don't love nobody. One minute you trying to party, next minute you a headline, and the system don't care if you guilty or just guilty by association. Stay woke. Man, USC was looking less like a college and more like a damn Grand Theft Auto server in 2012, cause the madness didn't stop after that Halloween shootout. Fast forward a few months to April 11th, and things went from bad to straight up horror movie status. Two grad students, Minggu and Yingwu, had come all the way from China to chase the American dream, only to get caught up in an American nightmare. They sitting in their whip, minding they business, probably talking about school or how wild LA living is, when two dusty crash dummies decide tonight's the night to risk it all. Enter Javier Bolden and Brian Barnes, two straight up goofies with no guidance, no game plan, and apparently no common sense. These clowns thought they was in a Call of Duty mission, ran up on the car, and tried to turn a simple robbery into a body count. But for what? A couple of dollars? A laptop? Ain't no way they thought this was going to end in anything but life in a cage. And sure enough, karma came collecting quick. LAPD ain't even have to do real detective work. These two was already wildin' before this. Turns out, they had already been out in the streets doing the absolute most, including shooting up a party a few months prior and leaving somebody brain dead. At this point, they wasn't just criminals, they was a whole public safety hazard. So when they got snatched up for the USC murders, the system threw the entire book at them. Brian folded like fresh laundry and took a plea to dodge that needle, but Javier, oh, he thought he was finna beat the case. Spoiler alert, he ain't beat nothing but his own future. That jury took one look at him and said, yeah, go ahead and wrap him up too. 2 life sentences, no parole, no sequel, just straight to the dungeon, never to be seen again. And let this be a lesson. Play stupid games, win lifetime prizes. These dudes really turned 2 innocent students into casualties over a botched lick, and now they got front row seats to a prison cell for the rest of their existence. Meanwhile, USC still standing, students still enrolling, and the streets keep moving with or without them. Moral of the story? Some folks crash out so bad, they leave skid marks on history. Man, at this point, USC wasn't a college, it was a damn horror movie franchise. Every couple of months, somebody else was getting sent to the upper room, and this time it was straight up savage. July 24th, 2014, 12:45 a.m. Shinrin G was just trying to make it home after a study session. My guy was on his grind, doing what he was supposed to do, not in the streets, not in no drama, just a regular dude trying to level up in life. But nah, some crash dummy squad had other plans. Out of nowhere, a group of dusty hyenas pull up on him looking for a quick come up. But instead of just taking what they wanted and dipping, these clowns turned it into a Mortal Kombat fatality. They hit Shinran with a wrench, then a baseball bat, like they was trying to play sports with his soul. But Shinran wasn't going out easy. He ran, fighting for his life, bleeding all the way back to his crib. Unfortunately, by the time his roommate found him in the morning, it was too late. Now, detectives ain't even have to play Sherlock Holmes with this one. Dude left a whole trail of blood back to his spot, and you already know the streets be talking. It ain't take long before Alejandro Guerrero, Alberto Aoa, and Andrew Garcia got scooped up and handed life sentences. No appeals, no parole, just straight to the dungeon with a one-way ticket. Meanwhile, the getaway driver, Jonathan Del Carmen, somehow finessed a time-served deal. Bruh, the system basically told him, you lucky we in a good mood today. And get this, after murking Shinran, these goofies kept the crime spree going like they was on some kind of robbery tour, even trying to hit a couple up at the beach. Like, bro, y'all not built for this life, and now y'all finna rot in a concrete closet for the rest of eternity. Ain't no glory in crashing out like this. They ain't get no money, no respect, no nothing, just a lifetime supply of prison food and regret. Shinran was doing everything right, and these fools threw their own lives away trying to take his. Moral of the story? The Reaper don't discriminate, play stupid games, and he might just let you collect the grand prize. January 9th, 2017, it's 10 p.m., and Peter riding through enemy turf with 2 of his homies. He in the back seat, probably feeling himself, thinking it's finna be a legendary mission. They slide through 40s territory, and who they spot? DH, just cooling outside a store on Vernon and Western with another 40s member. Now instead of playing it smart, the 40s throw up they set like they invincible, forgetting that disrespect come with consequences. Peter wasn't finna let that slide. The car stop, door swing open, and he hop out like a one-man army. DH and his boy must have realized they was outnumbered because they tried to hit the turbo button and get up out of there. But nah, Peter already made up his mind. 5 shots rang out. DH get hit multiple times. Mission complete, right? Wrong. Cause Peter ain't realized the streets got hidden cameras. AKA the boys was lurking in an unmarked car watching the whole damn thing. They heard the shots, saw the only car on the block, and immediately knew what time it was. So now it's Need for Speed, South Central Edition, and the police chasing BPS all the way back to they section. Peter must have thought he was finna finesse the getaway, cause he jump out and start running. But let's be real, ain't no outrunning the boys when they got the whole city trying to help him. Long story short, they caught him, pressed him, and Peter folded like fresh laundry, admitted to everything, said he and DH had static from jail and he was just trying to finish the job. But all that just got him 25 years to life. Now he's sitting in a cage, replaying that night over and over, realizing he played himself. Ain't no glory in throwing your life away over some old beef. Cause while he doing time, the world keeps spinning, and DH, if he made it, he probably out here living his best life while Peter eating state trays, wondering where it all went wrong. Still in 2017, and Tiny Hardhead, yeah, the 40s dude who stayed hanging with the 50s, thought he was just trying to enjoy some tacos. Bro was chilling at a taco truck in Vermont Square Park, probably trying to figure out if he wanted carne asada or al pastor, when out of nowhere, a white BMW 3 Series pull up like it's about to hand deliver some karma. Next thing you know, lights out. The internet immediately start pointing fingers at Infant Nightmare like he had his name written all over it. But ain't no receipts on that. Just a whole lot of internet detectives putting 2 and 2 together like they Sherlock Holmes. Either way, the 40s was hurt behind this one, and his boy Mac, devastated. Fast forward a year later, October 4th, 2018, guess who gets caught slipping in Jim Gilliam Park, right in the heart of the jungles? Infant Nightmare. And that's just how the jungle works. Random and ruthless. Speaking of the jungles, let's talk about a dude who was just trying to get his bag up and stay out the mix. Scooby, the rising videographer. Bro was out here shooting vids for everybody, no bias. One day he in the jungles filming Infant, next day he with Johnny Rose from the 40s. He wasn't repping the side, he was repping his career. Then in 2018, his whole world changed when he shot Blueface's Thotiana video. That joint dropped on WorldStar, racked up 21 million views, and had the industry finally giving Scooby his flowers. Drake and Quavo even tapped in. Bro was on his way up until December 5th, 2018, when he went back to the jungles to shoot another video. Biggest mistake of his life. Dude pulls up, parks, start unloading his camera gear, and then, boom, 3 goons pull up on him. They ain't even hesitate. They snatched his equipment like it was a Black Friday sale. Scooby not going like that, tried to get his gear back, but the jungles ain't never been a place where you get a refund. After that, the jungles got labeled the most hated in LA, but despite all that, they still got some youngins trying to take over the rap game. Enter the Baby Stone Gorillas, a group that got potential but hate everybody. You got Top 5, aka the Michael Jackson of the group. Bro really think he Prince Charming. Then there's E-Killer, Popcorn, and 5 Much. Yeah, them names need a rebrand ASAP, but whatever. And in true BPS fashion, they got beef with literally everybody, which is why their features stay NorCal heavy. But their biggest issue, the Stink Team. And to be fair, the Stinks got problems with everybody, even Adam 22. How that beef started? Who knows, but it's hilarious. The real tension popped off after Draco the Ruler passed, and Top 5 hopped on IG Live talking reckless, throwing shots like he was at a liquor store. Stink Team fired back, basically telling them to check in before they get checked out. Now, whether this whole thing stays on IG or spills into real life, that's the million-dollar question. But if history tells us anything, the jungles don't do internet beef. They like to settle things face to face. Stink Team better be careful who they trolling, cause some wars don't end with a diss track. They end with a RIP post and a candlelight vigil. A young dude named Victor, 21 years old, trying to make something out of himself. Bro transferred from Cal State East Bay to USC in 2017 to chase his dream in music. Had the books in one hand and the beats in the other. But what he didn't know was that LA don't care about none of that. March 10th, 2019, 12:30 a.m. Bro and his squad step out of a liquor store near Maple and Adams, probably trying to grab some backwoods and a few bottles, nothing crazy. But in the jungle, you ain't gotta look for trouble. Trouble finds you first. Out of nowhere, 3 or 4 wolves pop out the shadows and press the group, looking for a quick come up. And in LA, ain't no such thing as a fair exchange. Victor, just in the wrong place at the worst time, gets hit in the mix of it all. One shot, his whole future gone. They rush him to the hospital, but a few hours later, it's over. Dreams of music, gone. College grind, gone. And for what? A little cash and some clout for the shooters. LA cold like that. Turns out, the liquor store sat dead in the heart of Ghetto Boys turf, and when the smoke cleared, 23-year-old Ian Hernandez got snatched up for the hit. By July 2021, another name got added to the list, Gino Hall, gone due to health complications. And let's keep it real, this war ain't slowing down for nobody. The BPS Bloods, Rollin 30s and Rollin 40s, they got bodies on both sides, and the scoreboard just keep ticking. LA politics ain't for the weak, and if history tells us anything, this game don't got a referee, just a cemetery and a courtroom waiting on the next one. That's just another page in this never-ending story of LA gangland. Like, comment, and subscribe if y'all rocking with the content, cause we got way more heat coming.